Okay, looks like I'm live on YouTube and on Instagram. So I think we are good to go. So, hello everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Allison Egidi. I am a pediatric sleep coach. I work with children 0 to 17. I'm located in Charlottesville, Virginia, but I work with families all over the world. And I also have a podcast called How Long Till Bedtime. So if you are a podcast listener or you are coming to this recording and you missed this live sleep Q&A, you might be able to find the answer to your question or some guidance through the podcast because I cover a lot of very specific sleep topics on the podcast. So you can check that out. How Long Till Bedtime, anywhere you listen to podcasts, including on YouTube. And this is my monthly sleep Q&A. So I became a sleep coach and founded my business, Sleep and Wellness Coach, back in 2016, June of 2016. So we are at 9.5 years, which is wild. And every single month since I started this company, I have hosted a free sleep Q&A. It has changed forms. It used to be like type the answer on my Facebook page, and then it became live engagement. And so what it looks like today is that there is a post that went up on my Instagram page yesterday, and then an event on YouTube that invited people to submit questions in advance. And I think I only got a couple. And so I start with pre-submitted questions, and then I'm also happy to take any live questions. So if you're joining me here live and you did not get a chance to submit a question, you can put it in the comments, and I am happy to answer any live questions that go in the comments here on Instagram or in the chat box on YouTube. If you have a question about your child's sleep, just give me the details of what's going on and the timing of their sleep, and I'm happy to take those questions. Okay, so let me pull up. I just had this. Okay, I'll start with an Instagram question that was pre-submitted through the post yesterday. And it is from Kate798. And she said, when do you recommend dropping the third nap? And how should other nap windows be adjusted during that transition? Okay, so I typically like to see kids drop down to 2 naps right around 8 months. 7.5 to 8 months is a really good window for that nap transition to happen. And the typical sign that a child is ready to drop down to 2 naps is that they're right around that age, 7.5 to 8 months. And usually they just start to really resist the third nap. So that third nap, all along the way, for most kids is a bridge nap. It's a short nap. We're really just bridging kids over to bedtime. And it's not usually their long restorative nap. That's nap 1 and nap 2. And so a lot of times you'll just find you put them down for that third nap and they just are not falling asleep for that third nap. And if they're in that 7.5 to 8 month window and it happens a couple of days, 2 or 3 days in a row, probably a good indicator that they have phased out of needing 3 naps. And so when they go through that transition and they're dropping down to 2 naps, the timing of those 2 naps sometimes needs to shift. If the first nap is still going really, really well, like it is easily an hour and a half, or you're having to cap them at an hour and a half, you might not even shift that start time very much, or you might try to shift it maybe 15 or 30 minutes. But if that results in a shorter first nap, then you might need to backtrack to your original first nap time, because that can still be a really solid time that's very in alignment with their optimal circadian rhythm. The second nap usually does shift a little bit. So I usually like to see that first nap start somewhere between 9 and 10, and the second nap start somewhere between 1 and 2. And I think your question was around the wake windows. And I am not a big advocate of wake windows, mainly because they are not supported by science whatsoever. I think some sleep consultant or sleep coach along the way made them up and they like took over the internet. And if they work for your child, I think that's fine. I generally fall into the camp if it ain't broke, we don't need to fix it. But what I prefer to hone in on is an ideal start time for these naps. So, for example, if that ideal start time was 9 on 3 naps and is still 9 on 2 naps, that's fine. If that's the time where you can get an hour and a half to a 2-hour nap, we don't really need to shift that. And then the second nap, I like to see it start somewhere between 1 and 2. And we just need to test out in that window, what is the best time where we can get that second nap to be an hour to 2? Ideally, an hour and a half to 2. And so is that 9? Is it 9:15? Is it 9:30? Is it 10? We wanna do some testing, and once you start to consistently get the ideal length nap, you just wanna repeat that start time and try not to vary your nap start times by more than about 15 minutes day to day. So maybe the start window for the first nap is 9:15, 9:30, and the start window for the second nap is 2:30, 2:45. And try to stay kind of in that window because that's how you help optimize their nap schedule. So hopefully that helps as you prepare for the nap transition. Usually the transition from 3 to 2 naps is not overly challenging, not to jinx anyone here. The transition from 2 to 1 is a little trickier for a lot of kids, but usually it's pretty clear that they're done taking that third nap and it's makes it easier to know when to make the transition, which can make the transition a little smoother. The goal when they drop to 2, my goal is still to get 3 to 4 hours of day sleep. And so it's finding that sweet spot for how long each of those naps should be to help your child get adequate sleep. That's the right amount of sleep for them in order to thrive. Okay, that may have been our only pre-submitted question. And I don't think we've had any live questions. Let me just refresh this and double check. I think that was it. Okay, one other thing that I just wanted to mention to you all is my most recent podcast episode. It's episode 213 on How Long Till Bedtime, and it's about holiday travel and sleep and how you can do everything in your power to keep your baby or your toddler or your child's sleep on track. And I cover traveling by car, traveling by airplane, sleep in a new location. And I bring this up because it has been a question that's come up on multiple consultations this week as people are preparing to travel for Thanksgiving. And of course, once you get your child's sleep on track, it can cause some anxiety to travel because people worry that's going to throw their children's sleep off. And I want to help relieve that anxiety because I'm a big fan of having healthy sleep habits, but also encouraging travel and adventure for families. But I want you to be able to do it with confidence and trust that your child's sleep will not be thrown off by your holiday travel. So check out episode 213, right? Didn't I just say it? 213 on How Long Till Bedtime if you're looking for some tips around holiday travel. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any live questions, so I'm going to wrap it up for today. I will be back in December with another monthly sleep Q&A, or otherwise known as Nap Chat, and that is going to happen on December 12th. So mark your calendar for December 12th, and I will see you guys back here then. Okay. Happy holidays. I hope everyone in the US has a great Thanksgiving. All right. Bye for now.